All right, and we are up and running. It is Russell and Hunter's the Brewmance. Thanks for hanging out with us. Come on, Rob still hanging out in Manhattan, hanging out in New York. Actually, he is up in the air, probably 30,000 feet above us right now, and wishing he was here. So he will be back for the Friday nooner. So fear not, we are up and running. So let's get to this. I have to kick this off with the latest breaking news that Deadspin. I don't know if you've heard of Deadspin before. Deadspin is a sports-ish app, kind of news organization, and Deadspin is done. Deadspin is the very latest in the if you go woke, you go broke. What's happening, Nancy? If you go woke, you go broke. Deadspin, the latest victim of this. Actually, latest lesson. They're not even a victim. If you willfully do something that you know is going to destroy you and you get destroyed, I don't think you're so much a victim. I don't think you're a victim at all. Deadspin Sports decided to, let's see here, out a 9-year-old. If you remember, if you remember a story a while back during the football season, Greg, how you doing? During the football season, that this Kansas City Chiefs kid had the full headdress on, half black, half red face. I mean, total makeup, ready to go. Deadspin outed this child, as being in blackface. Name, hometown, whole nine, dox this dude. This poor kid. And remember, by the way, we weren't allowed to know the illegal migrants that beat the tar out of an NYCD cop. We weren't because NYPD cop, excuse me, because they might be underage, so we can't know their names. Oh, but this kid apparently was in blackface, so we know everything about him right away at 9 years old. Yeah, don't give me that nonsense. Come to find out that the kid is actually Native American, and he's a lifetime Chiefs fan. And then, of course, we went to everybody else with the face paint and go to the Raiders games, and everybody else got the face paint. Well, here's the deal: the parents of the kid decided to sue the pants off of Deadspin. Deadspin fired everyone and laid off everyone, and then sold. They're done. You go woke, you go broke. Period. Del, what's happening? Rhonda, how you doing? And it's just another. When are you going to learn? I mean, if Bud Light wasn't the most flagrant example of go woke, go broke, I don't know what is. If Disney wasn't such an empire that they are, and we didn't have bozos like DeSantis trying to take them on and basically make a case for supporting Disney, geez, they'd be. I mean, they're hurting, but they're a behemoth. I'll go with that. Maybe some coffee. Hang tight. There we go. I'll tighten that up. They're not going broke, but they're hurting. Same with Anheuser-Busch. They're not broke, but they were hurting, laying off several people. Actually, I have a friend that left here and went to work for Anheuser-Busch in New York and had 12 people in his office with him prior to the Dylan Mulvaney Transcan. And now he's just alone. Just alone. What's up, Truman? Just alone hanging out. By the way, please stick around with us. Comment along. Play with us. Rob's flying back right now, so he's in air 30,000 feet above us. And but he's going to be back on Friday. Please play along. I don't have Rob to kind of buffer me while I read the comments, but we will get to the comments right at the very end of the show. So just play along. We'll get to recap some things as well. So Deadspin, adios. I actually had the Deadspin app. It was decent until they decided to, I don't know, dox a 9-year-old. That's what happens. Speaking of woke, did you know that last night was Oscar night? Yeah, neither did I. I had no idea. No clue. As a matter of fact, it was just a really chill Sunday. Got to go catch a Dodgers game and settle down. Y'all know me, been a Dodgers fan my whole life. I'd catch a Dodger game, and then at about 3:00, the game was over. Thank the good Lord for the pitch clock. And just had a nice Sunday barbecue vibe. It was fantastic. And then just went about my evening. Didn't know it was the Oscars, but everybody, of course, all the elites and all the liberals are, it's Oscar night. It's Oscar parties. And please. Apparently the Illuminati had an appearance The Illuminati apparently had their hand in the Oscar night, as John Cena, I'm sure you saw it. John Cena presented an award for best costume, I believe, naked, fully nude. Fantastic bod on this guy. That's it's they wanted me to be a body double for him, but I was busy. Like I said, I didn't even know it was Oscar night. No, they didn't. Anyway, I went out with just a piece of, I think, wood covering his junk, and then and when they went to dark to show the nominees on the screen, they changed them into some sort of toga or something like that. Being buzzed around the internet and the social media is that this is a public shaming ceremony that is made popular by the Illuminati. Do we care? I'm being serious. Think about this. Let's say that the Hollywood elites and all of Hollywood is this big, child trafficking, blood drinking, sacrificing, Satan worshiping cabal. We were told last year that we have UFOs, that we have aliens amongst us. And we said, all right. Hey, everybody, guess what? The CIA had a hand in killing a president. Literally, our intelligence community killed a president. I pretty much know that. So, this is an Illuminati shaming ceremony that we saw at the Oscars. Maybe you and I would carry it. I mean, talk about how fascinating and all this, but that's all it would chalk up to, is fascinating. When you have an entire group, an entire ideology holding, basically operating under the left media, what are you going to do? How do you get that out? Hey, how do you get that out? By the way, the Illuminati's real, and they're doing this, that, and the other thing. Okay. Highest of power, all members of the Illuminati. Okay. Yeah. Then they got the political nonsense. That's why I actually enjoyed the Golden Globes when Ricky Gervais was emceeing those events, because he's honest. He said, just don't use this as a political platform. He said, just come up here, thank your agent, thank your God, and take your award and get the blank off stage. That's it. Don't turn this into some political activism. There was some guy, I can't pronounce his name, some dude that wanted to get up there and say, basically, he's denouncing his Jewish heritage and faith to preach for a ceasefire in Gaza and Israel. He will not support genocide, he said. These people have no idea what they're talking about. Just absolutely no idea. And the level of self-importance that they hold themselves at is fantastic. It's blinding. It's staggering. Who can? My daughter Intern Beans tried to teach me this weekend. It was what did she call it? Main character syndrome or something like that. I'm going to have to ask Intern Beans, and then maybe get to you on Friday. But Intern Beans was like, main character, where you think these are the people that post with their face in the camera all the time, and it's not any type of programming or information or commentary. It's just me, and look what I do, and I'm so this and I'm so that. It's this you think you're the main character in everyone else's story. These bozos really think they're the main character in everyone else's story, and this is where it's absolutely it's comical. It could be a lot of people who get frustrated, get triggered by it, and it's they're not that important, and they just think they're all that, and yeah, they do, and yeah, they think they're that important, but they're not really that important to us. We know that, we understand that. Hell, we didn't even know it was the Oscar night. We had no idea the Academy Awards were last night. Maybe you caught it when you're watching a game or something like that. You caught the ad, or you watching your show on, I think it was on ABC. Speaking of go woke, go broke, we'll get to George stuffing envelopes in just a little bit, so don't worry about that. ABC, funny thing about ABC, actually, and I brought up Disney as well. In case you didn't know, Walt Disney ran out of money to build Disneyland. Just ran out of dough. Couldn't get it. I mean, they were to the finish line too. Such fascinating stories came out of the making of Disneyland. And so he went to ABC and he said, listen, I'm going to do a very entertaining show for you, and I need you to bail me out. I need to basically make enough money to finish my park. Can I do a show for you? We're going to call it The Wonderful World of Disney. At the end of every show, we're going to show you the advancements of the park and what the park's going to be all about, and I'll give you exclusives and the opening and all of that. ABC bought into it. Boom. Saved Disney's booty. Then ABC was going under. Disney was so big, Disney bought them. Kind of a fun little thing. And now ABC is so woke in the joke, they're now spinning ABC off. Now, like, okay, we helped you out long enough. You guys are gone. But I digress. Let's get back to the Academy Awards and the ceasefire. And so I stand with Gaza. Okay, fine. I stand with Palestine. Free. Get it. Get it. Holy cow. Nobody cares what you think. Nobody cares. They really don't. So let's get to Jimmy Kimmel, one of the biggest bozos probably ever to grace TV. The fact that guy's taking in $15 million a year as a contract just absolutely blows my mind. I do not know who is watching this clown. He's a hack. He was a shill. He said, rest in peace to everyone that did not they get vaccinated during the pandemic. No, I think it was during when Obamacare was in the Supreme Court when he was crying, my child is sick. I don't give a your child is sick. 15 mil a year, bro. Your child, all right. Child's good. Holy mackerel. Yeah, I did. Yeah. So Jimmy Kimmel's just a loser. I was in Southern California. I'm a Southern California transplant. And when I was in, don't worry, I don't vote like they do. I was a Southern California transplant. When I was out there, K-Rock was a alternative music station in Southern California, and basically the launching pad for so many. Dr. Drew, Adam Carolla, Jimmy Kimmel, all these guys just came out of. Carson Daly, I think, came out of there as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that launched their career from this little tiny radio station. And so I knew Jimmy Kimmel from back in the day when he was actually funny. Then the Man Show came around. Oh, it was art. It really was art. And then the man just quite literally sold his soul, just sold out to the woke media and just that's it. So he is not being him. He is not true to himself. The Man Show was true to himself, who he was. Jimmy Kimmel, by the way, much like Joy Behar, had standing bits being in blackface. Jimmy Kimmel did his impression of Karl Malone of the Utah Jazz, formerly Utah Jazz. Now I think in the Hall of Fame. Is Karl Malone in the Hall of Fame? He damn well should be. Him and John Stockton should pick and roll their booties right in there, if you know what I'm saying. But I digress. The NBA is kind of dead to me as well. But he did this a impression of a black man, full black. I mean, arms, shoulders, tank. I mean, he was black body. Joy Behar did the same thing. She said it was an homage to black women. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, they can always get away with it, those knuckleheads. Anyway, Jimmy Kimmel decided to come out and read a tweet. Not a tweet. I'm sorry. It was a Truth Social post. I got to get these things right because you can't even say tweet anymore. It's X. I'm trying to keep up. So a Truth Social post by Donald Trump during the show that ripped on Jimmy Kimmel. It basically is just talentless loser, which he's correct in saying. Jimmy Kimmel is I would say I'm going to spin this around. Donald Trump is living quite literally rent-free in Jimmy Kimmel's head. So much so, Jimmy Kimmel was triggered by a Truth Social post. How small are you? Really? A Truth Social post? Anything anyone says about me online, that doesn't trigger me. It just, okay, it's somebody's opinion of me. Who cares? Again, I don't have main character syndrome or whatever they call it. I don't think I'm the main character in your life. I'm just simply a commentator. I like getting up and entertaining, like having fun, chatting with you guys in the comments. That's what I like to do. Jimmy Kimmel was so triggered by a Truth Social post by Donald John Trump that he read it live in real time during the Oscars, which will probably, I hope, if there's any type of karma in this world that would just launch him from ever doing this again and basically take him off of his pedestal of being the host of the Oscars. But what he did is the same thing that CNN did back in 2016. Same thing that all of the media has done ever since. They understand that when they say Donald Trump, I'm sorry, I'll go with the corporations first. The corporations understand when they say Donald Trump, the corporate news media, when they say Donald Trump, people stay on. What's Don doing? What's President Trump doing? They're getting it from both sides. His supporters that want to find out what's going on and how the media is trying to take him down, and the people that buy into that gibberish that the media is feeding, they say, "Oh, okay, yeah, so we got him this time." Either way, they're staying on. So they understand that Donald Trump is a ratings boom. They did. And what CNN did, CNN got the guy elected. The guy had a advertising budget for his campaign of marketing budget of probably $10. He didn't have to. Everybody's talking about him every single day. So when little tiny insecure punks like Jimmy Kimmel get up and oh, listen to what the mean orange man said about me. You're just giving one big fat Donald Trump commercial. Last year's ratings for the estimated ratings for the Oscars, 18.3 million viewers. Let's say we're at about the same. Heck, let's just say it's 15 million. 15 million people just saw A, how insecure and small you are, and B, heard, oh, Donald Trump, that's right. Okay, I guess those court cases we've been hearing about, I guess they aren't working. He's still on True Social. He's still running for, he's still doing campaigns and stuff. Oh, huh. You gave him a commercial. Giant 15 to 18 million person commercial. Great ratings when they didn't mention Trump. Okay. And that's it. That all of that. Jimmy Kimmel and this little petty crying, he said, what did he say? He said, Donald's still up. Isn't he a little late for, isn't it past his jail time? Is what he said. Yeah. Because again, have not convicted the dude of anything. Essentially, there was a civil trial with this E. Jean Carroll character. Have you? Again, they keep trying to take Donald Trump down with the biggest bozos in history. I mean, think about this. I mean, you have like Adam Schiff. Think about the Adam Schiff of all people is like the head, kind of the star figure, the face guy of these impeachments, and then this January 6th. Jamie Raskin, for the love of grief. That the minute they told him he had some sort of cancer, he put the bandana rag on. He put the thing on his head, and he's like, oh, until someone told him that's insulting to people that were actually going through chemotherapy that were hiding their loss of hair, because when he put the rag on, giant tufts of black hair were like just popping out of the thing, as my kid would call it. He had a solid flip game. So he's in hiding baldness. It's absolutely insulting. So then pop, magically he has hair again when he pops the thing off. So these two clowns are the unsympathetic characters, and Liz Cheney and that other twerp that was a Republican. Who's the other Republican on there? I can't think of his name. See, again, Rob's not here. Rob's flying in a plane right now. He'd bail me out on that name. So that completely unsympathetic characters. Completely. Okay. And then you go into the DA in Manhattan, Briggs. You go to the Attorney General, Letitia James. All of them are getting rung up for stuff that they're trying to convict Donald Trump of. Fannie Willis, now down in Georgia, she has absolutely destroyed this RICO case against Donald Trump because they picked bozos to run the show. And then this E. Jean Carroll, they come out of nowhere. She doesn't even remember where this alleged sexual assault happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen. She didn't even remember where it went. She said there was actually no physical touch. It was a feeling that she got. $93 million? That's a feeling? For a feeling. Yeah, I got a lot of feelings. I want to. Adam Kinzinger. God bless you, Truman. Yes, Adam Kinzinger, a little nerd. Not you, Truman. Adam, thank you. Yes, former congressman. Yeah, he didn't even run for re-election. He's like, I know I'm going to get toast. I'm doing something stupid. I'm lying. I'm basically lying to the American people. I'm probably not going to get sent back to Congress, said Adam Kinzinger. So anyway, where am I going with this? The knucklehead. So E. Jean Carroll, please look up the clip. I wish I could give you a clip in real time here, but I'm not that technologically advanced. Me turning this on and going as a live stream is about as technical as you're going to get from this guy. But E. Jean Carroll, if you saw her being interviewed by Anderson Cooper on CNN, wow. Stunned him to the point where they had to immediately go to a commercial break because she was destroying the case for herself on Anderson Cooper 360, where she said that most people think rape is something like some sort of fantasy. They think it's sexy. Like she literally, I can't even, please look at it. And Anderson Cooper just dead stunned. And we're going to get into George Stephanopoulos. Actually, it's a wonderful transition over to George Stephanopoulos. George Stephanopoulos, he is a Clintonisto to the nth degree. He's a big campaign supporter of the Clintons, and where a lot of other journalists lose their job for giant donations to political campaigns. Totally okay. If you're George stuffing envelopes, totally okay. You can donate to the Clintons in any way, shape, manner you can. And speaking of the Clintons, we're going to get to them on Friday during the nooner. Haiti is falling. Haiti's going down. It's bad. It gets worse by the minute. And what happened to that $13 billion we sent Clinton over there with? Bill Clinton, by the way. Bill Clinton. We sent him while his wife was Secretary of State. Anyway, George Stuffing Envelopes was interviewing Congresswoman Nancy Mace. And it's Sunday shows, doing their Sunday business on ABC. And of course, George Stuffing Envelopes had to be the little twerp that he is and ask Representative Mace, how can you, I'm paraphrasing, how can you put your name behind or support behind a man who has been convicted of rape? This is what he said. He was talking about Donald Trump. Okay, again, going to this E. Jean Carroll thing, which don't even get me started about that whole stupid case. He actually had to pay the millions and millions of dollars he had to pay just so he could appeal it. It's so stupid. Anyway, so he's appealing that, so that was the question. Instead of asking anything else, George Stephanopoulos asked Representative Nancy Mace, here's what how can she support anyone who's been convicted of rape? What you don't know, or maybe don't know about Representative Mace, she is a victim, she is a survivor of sexual assault. So she said, well, wait a second, why did you phrase it that way? Why are you trying to victim shame me here? I don't understand. Why did you use that? No. But how can you support Donald Trump? Because E. Jean Carroll case, and he said, George, I'm telling you, I am a survivor of sexual assault and rape. I'm offended. You're insulting me right now by bringing this up and phrasing the question this way. George Stephanopoulos was not fazed by this. He is so convicted, so elite, so arrogant, so misogynistic that he can just stare her in the face and say, no, just answer the question, essentially. Kept at her. And said, oh, I'm not denying that you were raped. I just, that's how I guess. Georgie. Let me help you. And by the way, that shows that his conviction and that he wouldn't back down from it shows that there was intent to it. Complete 100% intent to it. It was intentional. Because one thing we're not doing in our society right now is raising young men. We're not raising men at all. Even when they become of men age, we're just not holding on to them. We're not still teaching them. I've been accused of being a little tough on my son and turned nooge. And that's intentional because I want him to be a young man. I want him to be a good, solid, upstanding young man. I think I'm doing all right. Me, believe it or not. Okay, so if I can do it, anyone can do it. So come on, let's step up, people. We can all raise some good young men here, can we not? Everybody in? Good. Woo. If Mike can do it, everyone can. This is what you say, George, stuffing envelopes. If you were actually a man, you would say, Representative Mace, look, my apologies. My intent was not to conjure up images or to relive that memory for you or to victim shame you in any way, shape, fashion, or form. I do apologize. I did not mean to make you feel that way. Please accept my apology. Would you allow me to rephrase the question? If you allow me to rephrase the question, I'd greatly appreciate it. Again, I apologize. Wonderful. And then Georgie Porgy could have gone to the litany, the giant list, the scroll that bounces when you let the thing go, right? You could have gone to the every charge that the media has put out there against Donald John Trump and just picked one of them. Could have picked some about classified documents, could have something about the Trump organization or anything. Or, what he said when he was announcing his candidacy about, you got the lines mixed up about summer criminals, good people, whatever. Could have gone after that. Could have gone with the good people on both sides. Anything. But no. George Stephanopoulos stayed on it. George stayed on it. It's intentional. Those are marching orders. Does not matter if you look like a complete buffoon. If you look like a little misogynist jerk, doesn't matter. If you look like a victim shamer, doesn't matter. Because the strike was made. The punch was made. All he wanted to do was remind the people, the X amount that watch Sunday ABC, wanted to remind them about the E. Jean Carroll case. That's it. It just goes to show you exactly how deep this goes. That they do not care about it. They don't care about a sitting United States representative. They will tear her down just as a reminder. Just look into the screen. Have a spine. Man up. Look right into the screen. We don't like Donald Trump. We don't want him to be the president. We think he's a danger. Fine. As a matter of fact, be honest and just say he's a threat to our system. He's a threat to our way of life. Donald Trump, essentially, to Washington, D.C., is the other insect you put on top of an anthill. Period. You ever drop a bug onto an anthill? Destroyed. They don't work around it. They don't check it out to see what it's all about. Nope. Destroy. That's exactly what you saw going on to this very minute with Donald Trump. You can be you could hate the man. You could loathe the man. You could be like most Democrats that just the thought of Donald Trump triggers them so much. And I have no idea why. They've never met him. They've never spoken with him. As a matter of fact, had they met with him or spoken with him, they'd probably end up liking the guy. But they don't he has no bearing really on the totality of their lives or any major part of their lives. Yet still, their faces turn red. They rage. They can't. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. But didn't you make more money under time? No, I don't even want to talk about it. Weren't gas prices lower? No, I don't want to talk about it. Couldn't you afford groceries back in? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Telling you, they're going to keep coming at you. They're going to keep coming at you. They're going to keep coming at you. Let's see here. Oh, by the way, Nancy. Nancy Mace, okay. As much as I wouldn't want that at all for anyone in my life to have to go through that. To have to be a survivor, a victim of rape. I can't even imagine. And then to have a little twerp like George Stephanopoulos come at them and basically victim shame them. I wouldn't want that to happen. Nancy, her campaign's on the ball. You know how much money they're going to fundraise off that? I'm not saying that doesn't heal the wound that he opened up. It doesn't heal the wound at all. But you understand, this is a full contact blood sport when you deal with politics. Period. It's a full contact blood sport. And if you cannot handle it, even to that level, as disgusting as that is, if you can't handle it, guess what? You got to get out the kitchen. Mm-hmm. Yes. And again, please comment along. Robbie's not here for the kind of pauses where I can throw the old man spectacles on and check it out because I can barely read. I can see who's here, though. Len, hey, what's up? Good to see you. I'll get to the comments at the end of the show. Can we do this? I would like to know, and pop in the comments if you could. Let me know if you're a fan. I want to know if you're a fan of self-checkout. Trust me, you guys know me. Long runway, okay? This is Mike. I need a long runway. I will get to it, I promise. Tell me if you like self-checkout. You go to the stores, you like self-checkout. I only don't go to self-checkout if I have beer or wine with me. I just don't, because I just like, I got to wait for the person to come over. You're like, you can look at me from across the store and see these receding hairlines and know that I'm over 21. Okay. Can we just say that? Please, please. So I go to go in the lines. Some stores don't even have lines open. Several times I've been to a store with Safeway, Fry's, whatever it is, Kroger, if you're not from this part of the town. There's they call it Ralph's in California. For everybody. They don't even have lines open. You have to go to self-checkout. And of course that takes away jobs, and understand that there's a reason for that, is that the most grocery stores are union, and unions have been running up the price on us for years and years and years and years. And so now stores and companies and, Kroger's and Albertsons, and I think Kroger's trying to buy Albertsons. They have to go to self-checkout. So have less cashiers. Just hire less people. Yeah. Oh, and I don't go to self-checkout too if I have like produce. What a pain that is. I'm not a pro. I wasn't trained. I don't know what now I got to look up lettuce. No, not that kind of lettuce. No, not the organic lettuce with the, and then I look like a big, monkey at the zoo, just banging on things. It's not hard for me to look like a big dumb monkey. I'm telling you. Okay, so here's why I'm asking that question. I appreciate your answers. Yeah. Um, Walmart in certain locations is going to charge you $98 if you want to use self checkout. Yes. Okay. Now I have your attention. Walmart to charge you a hundy to use self checkout. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, okay, maybe it's okay. You have to have $100 minimum order. Maybe you got to have $100 in your cart. Maybe it's just kind of for traffic flow or something like that, because there are people, let's be honest, in self checkout. Are you kidding me? You like just look, and then the one attendant in the self checkout's got to go over there and help them with their 2 carts full of garbage, and they're all little tiny things. Like, I want to ring up 1 yogurt at a time. I just have 1 yogurt. There's 2. There's 3. Then an hour later, there's 45 yogurts because I told if you buy 50, I get a nickel off. There we go. So like the 49. Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was just for something that can just do the whole the flow thing. Nope. Walmart is using their Prime service, just like Amazon Prime. Walmart has a Prime service with delivery and all that stuff. If you are a Prime member, if you are their subscription member, $100 a year, $98 a year, if you are a member, you can use self-checkout. Why? Because of theft. Because people constantly stealing from them. The video I saw in the news piece, had this woman, because they have cameras. I mean, you're being filmed, but in certain parts of the country, doesn't matter. If your total isn't over $500, steal away, go nuts. If there's a cop around, they might give you a ticket. That's about it. Yeah, you might lose your stuff. Anyway, she took a pack of gum, put the barcode on the bottom, where the barcode of the giant box of the industrial box of diapers, which is probably $50. So she puts the package of gum under the box where the box has their code, and it goes beep. And she takes it and throws it in the cart. She goes, $1.37. Yeah. On camera. Doesn't care. I could not care less. She was actually showing her friend how she does it. So yeah, exactly. This is why Walmart has to do this kind of stuff. Does it make sense? I would say that. I just shut it down. Shut down self-checkout altogether. You know how much money you would save? I'd rather hire 2 or 3 more cashiers per store than deal with the theft and the loss. But if you think, okay, Walmart doesn't care because they have insurance for that. Okay, follow the bouncing ball. Now, insurance has to pay out more for Walmart. It costs more for Walmart to pay for the insurance. Walmart passes that cost on to you, as does the insurance company, whichever insurance company is using, passing on the price to everybody else. So this is crazy. But it's something everybody has. You go to CVS's and Walgreens into certain parts of the country. They only have 2 aisles that you can walk through. Everything else you have to request. You have to go up and say, I want this. And the attendant will bring it to you. And hope to God you don't rob them. That's what it is. And look, this is just a progression that we've seen coming. It just every single time you hear a story like this, you're like, yeah, it makes sense. Now you see all these fast food places. Yeah. Oh, Lynn, they can arrest them. That's fine. But then you got no cash bail. What are you gonna do? They're gonna get out anyway. And fine, arrest them, send them right back out. For maybe they didn't steal enough of that Walmart. They'll go to the other Walmart, just steal. Try there. They're not going to jail. It's absolutely, it's amazing. So, okay, so California going to a minimum wage of $20. Like fast food's got to pay their people $20. Can you imagine? I mean, Taco Bell's already off the rails anyway. I don't even get me started on Taco Bell. You used to go there and pay cheap prices for cheap food, and that was it. You didn't care. You loved it. It was one of my guilty pleasures. It wasn't even a guilty pleasure. I wasn't apologetic about it. I love Taco Bell. I still to this day love Taco Bell. Taco Bell is darn near too expensive. I took my kid there a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, what do you mean it's $31? What did I buy? Got a couple of tacos and what the 31 anyway. But you go into a Taco Bell, what do? Oh, right over here to this kiosk. Yeah, go ahead and order here. Beep, 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 beep. If you're gonna have to pay employees $20, just might as well just do the math and get one of those kiosks. 2 of the kiosks, 3 of the kiosks. We don't complain. We're used to it as a society. We're completely used to it as a society. We can go order. We order everything on our phone. I bought 3 things from Amazon today. I really did. I bought 3 things from Amazon while I was prepping for the show. I was like, oh, shoot, I need that real quick. Do, 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 do. Fun. So we're used to it. We've been conditioned for it. So make it easy. But I mean, look at like San Francisco. San Francisco is just, it's a crime ridden, it's a desolate wasteland now. It just is. You know, you would think that all of these abandoned buildings and everything's just going to bounce back and it's going to be the hustling, bustling metropolis it used to be. Nope. Sorry, it's done. If I'm any type of if I want to start a business or if I'm any current business, California is the last place I want to start a business or expand to. Period. End of story. And what I get all the time when I talk about California, my former home state, I was born there. When I get that, there is a almost a carbon copy response when I talk about how bad California is. Well, if it's so bad, then why are companies still there? Why are the companies still there? Companies are still there because of how bad California is. Hear me out. California is so corrupt that the companies that stay in California have sweetheart deals. A lot like Panera Bread. Panera Bread doesn't have to pay they're going to because they got a lot of backlash. But Panera was given an exemption in Governor Newsom's expansion to $20 an hour because the owner of Panera Bread is one of his biggest donors. He went to Gavin and said, I ain't doing that. He said, okay, don't worry, I got you. The corporations that are staying there are grandfathered in several ways and given sweetheart deals to stay there. So there is at least some population and there's at least some jobs in California. It's crazy. It's just off the rails. So San Francisco, you're toast. And then how about this? This is something that I want to chat. And thanks for being with us. Rob will be back at the end of the week. He's flying overhead, flying back from Washington, please. He's actually in a place that's worse than Washington. In my mind, I hate New York City. Rob loves New York City. And Rob and I have been friends 16 years, and we have several differences, and that's what makes us friends. But I don't know if he could pay me to go to New York. I have no. He likes his like dream big city, big everything. He likes a big mindset, all that. So, but Rob will be back. But speaking of that, I'm going to ask him. I can't wait to ask him about the subway if he went on the subway. Don't know if he caught this. Governor Hochul has unleashed the National Guard and extended police hours. So the subway, the entire system can be marshaled, can be policed. Yeah. And you think, at least I did, and I apologize if I'm speaking for you, but I first thought, yep, finally got it. Crime is that bad. And then I thought, what happened that crime was so bad now? What do you mean? Oh, you finally came to Jesus and thought, oh my goodness, crime is up, and especially on the subway, it's such a dangerous place. I'm gonna summon the National Guard. No. Something different is happening. Something is going on that, and when I say they, and even the government, I mean the royal they have knowledge of something that they needed to deploy the National Guard for every entrance and exit into a subway. Oh, look at this. Let me see here. Who's this guy? Director Ray? Let's see if he. Oh, yes, of the FBI. Let's see. What did he have to say? Oh, he's talking about the litany of serious and grave threats that are coming up through our southern border. And as we take those cats from the southern border and we put them up there in New York City, those unvetted from whatever country, used to think of migrants coming through the southern border. We used to think of, basically, if I lived in Mexico, I'd be trying to get up here too. If I lived in Mexico, we're over 150 countries represented. You have the Chinese military age men coming, all these single men. We have terrorist nations represented, those that were just off of jail time for terrorism coming through our southern border. So you have the director saying that, Director Ray, saying, hey, this is a big deal. like clear and present danger kind of stuff. And I'm talking about the real clear and present danger, not the cool book, the amazing book. I'm talking about that. Then you see Governor Hochul deploy the National Guard to guard the entrances to the subways. And I know it's easy. It's easy. Like I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, West Side, and it seems like it's New York. Hey man, hope something bad doesn't happen in New York. Remember 9/11? I'm not saying 9/11 is happening again. I'm not saying that. But do you remember what that did to our nation, our psyche, our nation as a whole? You do. I know you do. I'm asking. It's facetious. It's a rhetorical question. That's what I meant to say. Again, let me get some coffee. It's a rhetorical question. That happens again. Anything like that happens again. Any kind of terrorist attack happens again. That hits all of us. All of us. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Prepare yourself. Just be prepared. Just have it. You know, you remember COVID, you went to everybody run on toilet paper and all that stuff. Just go grab yourself a couple packages at Costco. You know what I mean? Maybe get a few bags of rice. Maybe get some bottled water. Something like that. Just, just in case. That's what I would say to do. That's what I'm doing. So, exactly, Greg. Yeah. 37,000 Chinese nationals. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's weird, China's buying up all the land around these military bases, all the farmland around these military bases. They're flying spy balloons right above us and just kind of, oh, look, it's a balloon. It's a dicey stuff. But yeah, don't get into this Governor Hochul out of nowhere said, hey, I've had enough on crime. I've had enough crime. We're going to go ahead and get the National Guard to the subway. No. That's not what's happening. Not what's happening at all. But Director Ray, again, telling us, hey, guess what, guys? We need to be really careful because what did he say last time? Last time he said, it's not a matter of if, it's when we are attacked at a large scale from inside our own borders. And yet the Bozo administration just thinking, hey, they're migrants. Just absolutely drives me nuts. But you love how the segues are going here. Rob would be so proud because our commander-in-chief decided while he's being heckled during the State of the Union address, and God love Marjorie Taylor Greene, whether you like it and the whole decorum and all that, decorum is flown out the window. A lot of respect is just flown out the window in Washington, D.C. Whatever, fine, have it out. Like we talked about on Friday, duke it out, go Parliament style, let's go. As she threw him off his game, she knew she would throw him off his game. So he mispronounced a victim's name, murder victim's name. And then he said she was murdered by an illegal. Did he apologize to the family? Did he visit the family? Was there a gold casket like George Floyd? Mm-mm. Was there a celebrity, a star-studded funeral for him? Nope, nothing. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you didn't even know she had a service, did you? He apologized in a softball interview over the weekend for saying the word illegal. I'm over this as a border state resident and on the ground zero of this illegal immigrant crisis. I'm calling them whatever I want at this point. I'm done. Remember, it was they're seeking refugee status. They're seeking asylum. These are asylum seekers. Then they had to get rid of that. These are just simply migrants now. This is just a normal migration. The Bozo administration wants you to say this migration up it's natural migration. 9-10 million people, totally natural. Yeah, no, it's not. They told you it was because of the Northern Triangle and climate change. Stats didn't bear that out either. Oh, so here we go again. What are we gonna do? Let's just call them migrants. Just call them migrants, and that's it. It's just migrant. So if you call them illegals, oh, forget about it. Can't call them illegals. What do we call the people that are in jail, in prisons? What do we call them? Criminals. Why do we call them criminals and not people? What would you call them? Encaged people. Incarcerated people. No, They're criminals. They're criminals. That's why they're in jail. They're criminals. They're in jail. They're criminals. You can't call them that. It's dehumanizing to call them that. I will call them that. But that was it. It was this softball interview that he gave to MSNBC, where it was so blatantly pre-scripted, everything of it was just as fake as can be, as propaganda to the nth degree. And again, you can go back a couple weeks to the podcast and look up, it'll say in the podcast title, Smith-Mundt Act. So the Smith-Mundt Act was overturned by Barack Obama. Nope, Smith-Mundt Act, get rid of that. Says we can't propagandize our people. We can't propagandize our people. We can't lie to them. So let's lie to them. Overturn it. Smith-Mundt Act was overturned by Barack Obama, which allowed the powers that be, the elected officials, Washington, D.C., to lie to us, to propagandize us, because the Smith-Mundt Act was originally passed by President Truman and to eliminate the possibility that the propaganda that we send around the world is used against our own, we the people. Thanks, David. Appreciate you being here, buddy. Appreciate all you playing it. Rhonda, thanks for being here as well. But then, if you remember, there was the GOP response, the rebuttal, the retort of the State of the Union address. And this was whatever. This is another Ronald McDonald, Ronald, I'm going to call her Ronald McDonald just because that's what she is. She was a clown. The head of the RNC, Ronna McDaniel, I know her name. This was another mistake to have this junior senator give the State of the Union response. They said, oh, let's have a mother, a senator that's a mother. Let's have her do it from her kitchen and really, just reach middle America, because they still think that independent middle-aged women are what will turn an election after this. It's that ship has sailed as we keep hovering around $4 a gallon gas, because we the people, again, is where common sense lives. These bozos don't play in the real world. So she was tapped to do the State of the Union response. She told the story of a woman that was sex trafficked. She was a human traffic victim. I am not kidding how disgusting it is that this woman is being challenged. The senator is being challenged for telling the story because it was decades old. This is where you can say they have a problem. I'm going to defend her real quickly, because what she very clearly said was a woman told her the story of her experience. Not she was being trafficked under the Biden administration. She said she told me the story of her experience when she was 12 years old. So, of course, that was decades ago. But what's disgusting about this, and what's scary about this, and what absolutely drives me nuts about this, is that it's being belittled as if human trafficking and sex trafficking aren't a real thing. At any moment, we have over 9 million trafficked and exploited children here in the United States of America. Look it up. Fact check me. Don't care. Fact check me all you want. Throw that. You can comfortably throw that out at any barbecue you want. If they fact check it, sorry, it is what it is. Those are the stats. That's disturbing. And to say, to have a woman point out on a national stage the horrors of human and sex trafficking, and to have the media, which in my mind at this point is complicit in the whole sex trafficking operation, by basically trying to discredit this woman because it was a story that was told of a woman's childhood by an adult woman, and saying it happened decades ago. It didn't happen under Biden. You're so quick to defend Joe Biden, so quick to defend this administration, that if someone points out the horrors of human sex trafficking, which is alive and well and getting worse by the day, doesn't matter who the president of the United States is, it's been going on a hot minute. You're so quick to do that you discredit the story and discredit the horror and reality that's going on, just because it's not going to, just so you clear the air that she didn't mean that it was about Joe Biden. No. It's the same as the Representative Nancy Mace story. in the George stuff in envelopes. It's a bunch of garbage. Why are we so fast to defend our political, whoever it is, or whoever we support politically? Do we have that much emotional equity in who we vote for? Do we have that much emotional equity in who we're registered, what party we're registered behind? Do we have that much emotional equity in it that we can't actually see the truth, that we would defend shenanigans, that we would defend wrongdoing, that we would defend the worst of the worst, and those that are turning a blind eye to child sex trafficking because of that emotional equity we have in who we voted for or who we're registered with? It's disgusting. And the media doing this with a smile on their face. I mean, I'm not a fan of Fox News. I'm not. Sorry. They've just gone off. They jumped the shark in my mind. They did it a while back. You can be a fan of it. I'm not going to judge you. You watch what you want to watch. But heck, I said, 18 million people watch the Oscars. At least they gave Shannon Bream, God love her. Shannon Bream actually gave the senator a platform to say, can you clear the air about this? Because it seems like you were telling a story that kind of pinned the blame on Joe Biden. I didn't like the ways, but at least it gave her an opportunity to explain the reality. And the reality of it was, I told you that I talked to a woman who was telling me her story of being child sex trafficked. It's sad. It's a sad, sad commentary. I so appreciate you being with us. Let's we'll kind of lighten it up a little bit. I guess we can. Rob's flying home right now from New York City. Mm-hmm. And again, keep playing along in the comments here and give your take on all this. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this stuff. Just come on in. I love it. Dance with us. Rob and I are starting this from the ground up. So if you can go ahead and share this out, you can follow us, share this out to your peeps and say, these guys are talking some game here, some common sense stuff. Let's get to it. I thought we had put this boogeyman story to rest. I really, really, really did. But we didn't, apparently. And TikTok is, again, a topic of discussion. To me, it is the silliest thing. And I think, and I hope you'll come along with me on this, I think it is one of the biggest distractions that these elite bozos are using to get our mind off of reality. Because you can believe that social media is ruining our kids. Okay, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you that if you think that social media is an evil in our society. I do. I think it can be used for good. If you've heard me on the Go Show for 11 years on the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor world that we live in, I've said it several times. Social media can be used for good. Social media can be good. It can be sharing opportunities, sharing experiences, and promoting events and cool community things. It could build community. It really can. It has a potential. But that dark side is gigantic. And TikTok is no thus. I trust me. I have kids that are in the TikTok generation. And Rob and I have built a solid TikTok following, but I have kids that are in the TikTok generation. That's where they get their news. That's where they form their opinions. So it's even more important for me to be on TikTok, posting something, getting into that algorithm, letting us spitting the truth of life here. TikTok is not any more evil than Meta. It's not any more evil than YouTube and Google. It's just not. Oh, it's a Chinese spy app. Yeah. General Jack Keane of Fox News. He's always on there. I like X too. I'm actually on X right now. So if you want to go over to X, telling you we're on there. We're good in 4K. Oh, geez. I know we have faces for radio. Don't get too excited. General Jack Keane, excuse me, was on Fox News today talking about TikTok, and he said that this would give China an advantage if we were to go to any type of military kerfuffle. He didn't say kerfuffle. Any military kerfuffle with China, it would TikTok would give them the advantage. We need to ban it. Come on, don't give me this business. Do not give me this business. TikTok would give China a strategic advantage. Okay. Oh, and Representative Debbie Dingle, just because I like saying that, was on as well, saying that I know the White House wants to ban TikTok, but the White House uses TikTok for the campaign. The president can use TikTok. And you know what the excuse she gave? It's complicated. Have you ever seen that when people on social media, speaking of with their whatever their status is on dating or the relationship status, it's complicated as an option. I got a lot of stories for that aren't very family friendly, so I'm just gonna leave that there. So let's get back to TikTok. It's complicated. Oh my goodness sakes. I equate this to the war on drugs. Yeah. Stay with me. Stay with me. You know me. Y'all have been doing this 15 years with you. Give me a long runway. I use a lot of runway. I'm going to get to it. Just hear me out. You'll come with me on this because y'all remember, y'all Gen Xers, you all remember this silly war on drugs where we remember just say no. Just say no. Just say no to that evil cannabis. That and they found the really tricky word for it, the really scary word, marijuana. It's making people do all this kind of stuff, crazy stuff in the clubs. Scared the bejesus out of you. And now you can buy it on the corner. Anywhere. You could go to any shop around town and get it. Yeah, so it was that evil. And just say no. Just say no to that cocaine. Say no to that crack rock. Just say no. Just apparently it was that easy. Tens of billions of dollars have been spent. Hundreds of billions of dollars have been spent on drugs and in the war on drugs. Drugs won. Y'all know me. Drugs won. This is why this TikTok thing reminds me of the war on drugs. Because there's a war on drugs not to save you. The war on drugs was not to save our children. The war on drugs was not to take down cartels. That's not what it actually, a little bit of the cartel part. But keep an eye on Mexico, by the way. This is a quick little sidebar. A little insight, a little birdie from Mexico City told me this. That Mexico is actually going to kind of dip their toe into the socialism waters. And remember, we all know socialism never worked. It's never, ever worked. It never will work. Maybe until now. So if the cartels just essentially make everyone in the nation business partners, and that money is not funded by those business partners, it's funded by the drug addiction of the world, socialism might work. Not weird? Yeah. Stay tuned for that. It might be, I don't know, we're going to flesh that out. Anyway. So the war on drugs and TikTok, this is why they're the same. They did not try, Washington, D.C., the Nancy Reagans and the power elites did not launch a war on drugs to save you. I'm sorry, they did not. If they did, if really we were trying to save we the people, drugs wouldn't have won. But here's the deal. They didn't want you buying the cartel's drugs. I think this is a George Carlin and Chris Rock idea, and I'm going to steal it from them. Remember, good artists borrow, great artists steal. They wanted you to buy their drugs. You see, the government is made of politicians that have every 2 and 6 years they have to run for re-election. It takes money. A lot of the money comes from the American drug companies. Now we just call it big pharma. You know, it sounds so much prettier, right? Big pharma, pharmaceutical industry. Sounds very, very scientific. Sounds very good. Pharmaceutical industry. Oh, it's the pharmaceutical industry. No, it's the American drug company. They are the drug. They are the cartels. So they build a drug that's going to get you hooked on it, and they distribute it massively. They get to run all these campaigns with 2 people in bathtubs and have you seen any kind of commercial for a drug lately? Oh my goodness! Like, where do they find these people? It kind of throws back to the old infomercial days where people can't, find their butt with both hands in a map, and then, oh my goodness, this product has come and saved that. I used to not be able to take the lid off of something without spilling it everywhere. These drug commercials are it just seemed like a bunch of, anyway, let's move on. They get to run all these commercials for it, and they get to have these campaigns. They get to have all these tax breaks that are subsidized for their wonderful new, do you wake up in the morning? Well, you might have this problem. And those companies give these politicians enough money to get reelected, and then boom, See, so they want to take out the drug cartels with the marijuana, the fentanyl, whatever it is, because they want you on their opioids. I don't want those guys to have opioids. We don't want those guys to have opioids. They're not organized. They don't have commercials. We have ad budgets. We have cool commercials. We don't want them to do it. We want them buying from us. Buy American. Woohoo. Okay. Here we go. I told you, give me a long runway. And I get it to TikTok. What's the difference? TikTok is a Chinese spy app. I tell you, it's a Chinese spy app. We got to ban it here in America until our president wants to use it for his campaign. But now we got to ban it in America. Okay, well, they don't want you using the Chinese spy app, although there are several American interests that own a good portion of TikTok. They don't want you to use the Chinese spy app. They want you to use your spy app. And here's what I mean, their spy app, the American spy app. You ready for this? Okay. If you don't believe how bad TikTok is and why it needs to be banned, go to Google. You see? Get on your phone, which, by the way, was made in China. Okay. Great phones, made in China. Was made in China. Okay. So, wait. But it's all Apple. Apple's got all that information. Go to one of your app sites like the Snapchat and the WhatsApp and all that. Yeah, sure, they're encrypted. Those messages go away right away. Those pictures you downloaded and sent, they went away right away. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. See, they want you. They want the information. They want China to have the information on you. They don't want China to blatantly just burn our Constitution. They want to do it. They want to spy on you illegally. They want to be able to, at all times, get all the information they want on you. So use their spy, just like the war on drugs. They didn't want you to use their drugs. They wanted you to use our drugs. Made in America. That's right. Spying in America, not spying China. We don't want China to know. Although we'll let Chinese spy balloons fly over it. That's fine. It's okay. No big deal. I mean, think about it. Look at Eric Swalwell with Fang Fang. Bang, bang, Fang Fang. His employee that he had that was a Chinese spy that he was allegedly sleeping with. Yeah. I know, Lynn. I think we all are. I've actually thrown that. Lynn said that we're all screwed. No, she just said, I'm screwed. Hey, guess what? Check it out. If you have one of these, you're being spied on. I mean, it freaks me out when I'm just thinking of something that I might want to look into, whether it's a vacation or a product or whatever it is, and then an ad pops up on my phone. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'm still a late adopter on the facial recognition on the iPhone. I was a big fan of the thumbprint. The face recognition I have not done. I have not done that in my phone for the years and years that I've had it, the years that it's been available. It's stupid. It's stupid. I mean, they already have it. I mean, remember that stupid app that we had to do during COVID where you wanted to go to a hockey game or you wanted to go somewhere, you want to go anywhere? The Clear app. That was it. Tell me that everyone in the government in China and everybody doesn't already have a hold of your facial recognition stuff, doesn't already have your picture. Please. Google just got busted. A Google employee just got busted selling all this stuff to China anyway. But this whole TikTok thing is just stupid. It's theater to distract you from what is really going on. That they give you the belief that this is actually, we're fighting for you. This is Republicans and Democrats. This is all Washington, D.C. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're very seriously looking into. We're gonna have some hearings. I tell you, we're gonna call them before us so we can ask questions and they won't care. Actually, the executives at TikTok have been in front of Congress and they basically bent congressmen and women over their lap and spanked them right there on public access, right there on C-SPAN. Yep. Because they banning TikTok is a solution looking for a problem. To think that China doesn't have the information that's already been given them, not only by our president and his family, but any information that they've gleaned from Meta, from YouTube, and from all these, but they have it all. You understand that there are companies here that, remember, we store data. We're secure. We're an American company. Doesn't mean they aren't owned by Chinese nationals. Yeah, so you have Eric Swalwell with Fang Fang. And then you have, remember Senator Feinstein, God rest her soul. Senator Feinstein, her driver. Okay, if a politician comes into office without a driver and retires with a driver, arrest them immediately. They're corrupt. They're on the take. Get them gone. Anyway, the driver for 25 years was a Chinese spy. Ban California senators. Okay, cool. What's that going to do? Well, they'll seem to be giving information. Ban Google. Okay, why? Mm-hmm. Again, it's security. It's not even security theater. It's not. Well, I guess a part of it would be security theater that we like to say here, because it's, oh, we're looking after you, right? Republicans and Democrats, we're looking after we the people. We want to take care of you. We want to get rid of that evil TikTok because, China might get your sensitive information. How many American companies already have my sensitive information? And what are they doing with that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So whatever spy app you want, use any spy app you want. All of them are. There's not an app on your phone that doesn't take your personal information. Just doesn't. There's not one. They all do. It's all in the terms of use. John Oliver said it better than anyone. If you want to pass something or pass someone by or something by the American people, just put it in something boring. Put it in the terms of use. No one reads them. Oh, don't give me that. If somebody says right now in the comments, I read the terms of use, you're a liar. Okay, you might read part of it. But all of the terms of use of everything, I just, come on, get me out of here. I want my 10%. Yeah, okay, fine. Send me an email. Send me product updates or whatever. There you go. Yeah. I'll say, I agree. I am not a robot. Yeah, there we go. Just to show you how crazy your host is. I'm Mike Russell. Thanks for hanging out. My mind right there? It's immediately on the fly when I said, I agree, I am not a robot. When I said I am not a robot, my first thought was, how does R2D2 get anywhere? I just, see? Whew, stay away. I told you, that's sometimes why I need a long runway. I need to jump out of my own head and just kind of let it go. Thank you so much for being here. But by the way, don't worry about TikTok. TikTok is if you have an iPhone, if you have any phone that was made in China, basically they have your information. Just let it go, and just prepare for the worst in any way of any scenario you can think of. Just prepare and just feel good. Just kind of let your shoulders drop a little bit. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, whatever happens, here we go. Yeah. And if that is, I'm going to do nothing, because Rob's to do nothing. Rob's just like, okay, fine. Whatever happens. If the zombies come, I'm going to be a snack. Zombies come. If I'm going out, I'm going out in one of the biggest real life video games ever. I watched all of Walking Dead. I got this. And if you watch Walking Dead, who noticed this? If I can't be the only one who noticed it, but it was the one thing about the show that drove me nuts. Yes, it was a show about zombies. I understand, suspend disbelief. I get it. It was fun. It was entertaining. Went a little weird there for a while, especially when they quantum leap jumped. But every time they stabbed a zombie in the head, it gave a metal sound, that swing shing, like it was metal on metal. And I never understood that, because every time it was a metal scraping sound. Drove me nuts. Maybe I was the only one. But I'm the guy, I'm the outdoor guy. So I'm the guy that looks at, watches movies, and I'm telling them, I'm hollering at the screen. I'm like, get your finger off the trigger. Look, he's got his finger on the trigger. Look at this bozo. He's got his finger on the trigger. Get your finger off the trigger. Look at that. Look at that. He's not even aware of what's beyond his target. See? A lot of times it's safety first. Most of the time it's safety first. Some of the time it's safety first. Most of the time it's safety third in my world. I came across something that is absolutely bananas. You guys got to hear this. Woke fishing. Have you heard of this? Woke fishing. So there is a kind of I wouldn't say a problem, because I think it's hilarious. A problem for dating apps, where males are acting in their profile as if they're woke. Acting in their profile, and they call this woke fishing, as if they're woke, or as if they're feminists. So let me pull it up here, because you guys are going to absolutely love this. All right. So, wait, see, now I got to put my glasses on. Ah, doggone it. All right, here we go. All right, it's come up by Vice, by the way. Vice is another go woke, go broke organization. Coined by Vice, the word refers to men who I will say males, who supposedly hold liberal views. They attend Black Lives Matter protests, all clued up on climate crisis, and are pro LGBTQ plus, feminist, and anti-Brexit. But really, they're just jerks. Okay. So they think it's easier to get a date with a woman online if you act woke. And the funny thing is, it says it went on to, they're later exposed years down the line before marriage. Years down the line. Let me tell you something, dudes that are pretending to be woke. If you can keep that charade up for years, you probably woke. And you're not a man. You're a male. That's about it. That's about where that ends. A man would not do these types of things. A man would just say, here's who I am. Yep. I like to hunt and fish, and I believe in climate change, but I also understand that there was never a point in our Earth's history where the climate was stable. So I really don't take my F-150 as the problem. And I'm a feminist. I am. But you can play that on loop if you want to. I don't care. You say, this conservative guy, this outdoorsman. Mike Russell said he's a feminist. You're darn right I'm a feminist. I'm going to take a little side right now because I want you to know what I mean by that. I am a feminist. And this isn't woke fishing. I am a feminist. I have girls in my life that I want to have every opportunity in the world. Every opportunity that I had as a male, I want them to have. And I do understand, by the way, that in the vast majority of cases, they do. Because of the sacrifice and the decisions and the power and the strength of those before them that paved that road. God bless them all. I think it's amazing. Do we have a little bit of work to do? Yes, we do have a little bit of work to do, and I'm totally okay with that. Totally okay with that. That's where it ends. Other than that, it's toughen up, buttercup. I won the genetic lottery. I'm an American white male, so that wasn't my fault. I didn't ask for it. It just happened. You were born a female, and you kind of have the cards stacked against you in very few cases, but you do in some cases have the cards stacked against you. Work harder. That's really where it ends. So I'm not a militant, okay? There's a difference between a feminist and a militant. The feminist, a militant gets up in your business, and immediately because you are a cis white male, you are an oppressor, and you are a misogynist. Oh, you're a conservative? Oh, my goodness, you voted for Donald Trump. You must hate women. Nope. Not in any way, shape, fashion, or form. As a matter of fact, I'm a huge supporter of women. Like I said, I'm a dad. I'm an uncle. I is absolutely pro-woman as you could possibly believe. So, I am so pro-woman. I make jokes that are off color and they sound kind of misogynistic. And it's a joke to everyone because they know I'm joking. That's how pro-woman I am. But to have these kids that are just so insecure and just so jerky, so I can't say the word. I don't think I know we can say it on social media and streaming, but I think Rob and I are trying to give a certain level of decorum. They're blank bags, and I don't like them. Because if they have to trick and try to act like there's somebody else to try to fool a woman into dating them, well, they're a bigger problem than a militant feminist. They're a problem. And okay, let me jump back and explain that real quickly too. When I say militant feminist, I talk about getting up in everybody's biscuits, just assuming that they are misogynistic or they're an oppressor or things like that, and they make that assumption and act accordingly. So you can assume that I'm some bearded outdoorsman, that I'm, that stereotype, right? You can assume that. That's fine. That doesn't bother me at all, and it's your right to do so. But when you come at me in a way that is militant and aggressive, and that's where we have the problem. So that's what I'm talking about. These bozos that are woke fishing, that are acting like they're woke and acting like they're all up in all the woke business just to get a date and then faking the funk for a long time. Well, guess what? You're no worse than they are. No worse at all. Can we just raise men? Can we do that? Can we raise men to act right? Can we raise men to treat women well? Can we raise men to just be contributing members of society that are themselves? And if you like to play Dungeons and Dragons every weeknight and on the weekends, God love you. If you like to go hunt and fish every day and every day, fine, good. Wherever you are on the man spectrum and whatever you like to do, you do it with pride and you do it as a respectful man. That's all I'm asking you to do. You don't have to go out and chop wood every day to be a man. No, you need to treat your fellow man with respect, treat women with even more respect, and be yourself. Holy cow. True to thyself. and by the way, masculinity is not toxic. Testosterone, not toxic. Nope, not at all. Not one little bit. And yes, I did. I did lean to the microphone and whisper like, not a joke. It's not hyperbole. Come on, man. He actually said today he's a capitalist again. Stop saying you're a capitalist, brother. Whoo, stop saying that, Mr. President. Stop saying that. Okay, just one more shot before we get to your comments, because I'm super excited to get to your comments. Very, very excited here. Let's go. I told you that that Ronna McDaniel is no longer the head of the RNC. In walks, okay, so Ronald McDonald out. In walks, you see this? You see who's just grabbing the reins? Laura Trump. You heard that right. Laura Trump. The Trumps are quite literally taking over the Republican Party. Now, the corporate media has done a heck of a job at saying the Republican Party is no longer the Republican Party. They're the party of Trump. They're the MAGA party. And they did that to scare you. They did that to scare we the people into thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not a like all in, MAGA person. Oh my gosh, I guess the Republican Party isn't what I thought it was anymore. They want to scare you. But here's what you're about to see. You're about to see a Trump ideology takeover of the Republican Party. Now, that has its good and has its bad. I've told you for several years and years that Donald Trump has taken over the reins since he was running for president and since he became president. There's good and there's bad. So let's talk about that. It's not one or the other. There's good and there's bad. You pick any president. Go ahead. Throw it out there. Any president side of, I'm sure George Washington had flaws too. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did things that we wouldn't agree with. But George Washington, by the way, is probably the last human to ever be qualified to be the president of the United States because he didn't want to be the president of the United States. And they tried to hand him the keys to the castle and say, we're going to make you king. And he said, nah, I'm just going to go make booze up at my spot. And I'm done. I'm good. I did what I needed to do for this country. And it's good. It's a solid move. Anyway, everyone else wanted it. From Adams on, everyone else wanted to be the president of the United States. And that's where you disqualify yourself. Anyway, let's get back to Laura Trump. We're going to see some shakeups now. We are going to see some shakeups because one thing that I will give you, at least that I believe of Donald Trump, is that when Donald Trump says he's going to do something, you go ahead and put your money on that because he's going to do it. That's why it was so laughable for 4 straight years watching the left clutch their pearls and he said what? Oh, he did what? All while they're getting fat tax breaks. But he said, oh my goodness, Donald Trump said this. Yeah, he said that during the campaign. You can rewind. He said during the campaign. Oh, and one of my favorite things going around social media after the State of the Union, check it out. You're gonna love this. It was all 3 of Biden's State of the Union addresses. He says the same thing. Every single one of them says the same thing. Same. This one a little different because he was given so much props to every country that wasn't the United States. But prior to that, just the same talking points. It's just like they took the same speech. Like, all right, let's see what we can do here. Yeah. Back to Laura Trump taking over the Republican Party. Those that don't, and the reason why I said that Donald Trump, when he says he's going to do it, is going to do it. If you're a Republican and say you were going to do something and you didn't do it, good luck getting RNC money for your reelection bid. Good luck at the next go around 2 years from now. Good luck at good luck at not being primaried. Like, it's time to shape up or ship out in the Republican Party. And I think if there's one group that can do it, it's the Trump group. Again, whether you like the ideologies of the Trump crew or you don't like the ideology of the Trump crew, it doesn't matter. The Republican Party is no longer the lose with dignity crowd. Because I have been begging the RNC to do this for a very long time. Stop complaining like Hillary Clinton. Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop complaining about stolen elections. Hillary Clinton's been doing it, and she's making a fool of herself. And we can laugh at her do it while we're sitting here talking about stolen elections and knock it off. Go fight then. Fight like the Democrats fight. Laura Trump came out straight up, said, where it is legal, we will be ballot harvesting. There we go. Let's come some coffee. Ballot harvesting like fiends. We are going to go all in. They are going to do things that the Democrats do. You will see red states start to make moves like the Democrats do. Here's the deal. Whether you like that, is, oh, we don't need to stoop to their level. We don't need to do those kinds of things. Do you like losing? Look at here in the state of Arizona, and I hope that that Laura Trump is good to the state of Arizona, especially the RNC. Because at one point, and I'm not kidding, I am not a wealthy man. I'm not a rich man. At one point, I had more in my account, my bank accounts, than the entire Arizona state RNC. I'm sorry, the Republican Party, Arizona Republican Party. I had more money in my account than they did. I don't know what it's looking like now, but I don't know if it's better or worse. But I hope Laura Trump looks at Arizona and understands that in our state house and our state senate, these local races, we're one seat away from losing power. One. And with Katie Hobbs at the helm, that's a recipe for disaster. Basically, we're just going to be California East. We're going to be Southeast California is what we're going to be. I can't. Okay. I know I sound like an alarmist, but it's true. One thing Rob and I have been pretty darn good at over the past 4.5 years is basically calling it like we're seeing it coming. And we have a pretty dang high batting percentage. And so I see that as we lose one seat in the House, one seat in the Senate here locally. It's Southeast California. That's all it is. And again, Truman, at the end, I'm definitely going to get to that for you, but we'll do that. But I think it's a good thing to have new leadership, new management at the RNC. If it goes off the rails, I mean, like total marketing style off the rails, I don't know what's going to happen about that. It's going to be fun to watch. Yeah, it's funny that so many people are afraid of Trump. I look at Donald Trump as a successful uncle that comes around every now and again. It's just like the favorite uncle. He's just everybody's yeah, excited he's here, and he says a bunch of crazy stuff. We're like, classic Uncle Donald. Classic. That's funny. That's how I see it. And could you imagine? I mean, really, could you imagine if the rest of the nation just took that approach? Like, okay, look at the stats. I had more in the bank. I had a job. I was paying $2.70 a gallon, and I could afford groceries. And we weren't involved in any wars. We're actually leaving wars. We didn't get into any new wars. I almost pluralized one. I know you guys were going to catch me on that, but we didn't under Donald Trump. So yeah, he said a bunch of crazy stuff, and he still says crazy stuff. It's been his thing forever. Literally, Donald Trump has said crazy things since we knew the name Trump. That's been his strategy. He's a brilliant marketer. That's why, going back to the beginning of this whole thing, as I go back to my page with notes, believe it or not, I prep. Donald Trump throwing out a Truth Social post about Jimmy Kimmel, about the host of the Oscars, live during the Oscars, was marketing brilliance. He knew what would happen. How did he know what happened? He has years of experience in knowing what happened the second he pokes a little crybaby liberal like Jimmy Kimmel. They will talk about you. And when you're talking about Oscar ratings of 18 million households or 18 million people, Yeah, poke him, see what happens, see if he gets some attention. Boom. Just like that. Took the bait, fished in. Jimmy Kimmel looked like the weak little twerp that he is. And Donald Trump looked like somebody who was just calling out the nonsense that he was watching on TV. Because anyone watching it was watching nonsense on TV. And those that weren't watching the Oscars go, I don't know, the Oscars were on. I bet that's a bunch of crazy nonsense on TV. It's brilliant. So we get a little bit of this this Trump marketing magic, maybe, whether he wins the White House or not. Maybe it'll save a lot of the down cards. Maybe the RNC will put their money where it belongs and not stupid lawsuits, and we can move on from this whole thing. Or they should just write books about it like Hillary did and make a ton of money. Just raise money for the smaller campaigns, right? Oh, my goodness sakes. All right, let's do this here. Let's get to I got caught up on my own headphones here. Let me put my old man glasses on, and let's get to see what's going on here. Somebody said something about Tommy Boy. Now I'm going to, you had me at Tommy Boy. Who said something about Tommy Boy? Following that, Tom Boy. I thought you said Tommy Boy. I thought you were talking about the movie. I'm like, I am all about Tommy Boy. I'm a fat guy in a little coat. Yeah, Southeast California does sound bad. All right, I'm with you on that. Let's get back up here. All right, yes. Hey, Del, thanks for tuning in from Tucson. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. And Rhonda, I haven't watched the Oscars at all in years and years and years as well. I used to be something that I thought was fun. Going to the movies used to be fun. And not fun anymore. It just, there's nothing good. I actually heard that the Marley movie was the Bob Marley movie was pretty good. I heard it is not a great movie. Like, oh my gosh, that was such a wonderful movie. But it was a good depiction of the man's life, and you kind of got a vibe of what's going on. Yeah, it kind of kept out the part about the CIA though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pesky CIA. I wonder why that didn't. Wonder why that didn't make the or still on the cutting room floor if it ever made it in there. Yeah. California in the river. Good job, Truman. What part of California are you from, buddy? Oh, left San Diego. There you go. Yeah. San Diego. Yeah, Wales, Virginia. Yeah, San Diego. I don't even want to go on vacation there. But by the way, okay. I want you to look it up too. If you're into fishing, you're into offshore fishing and stuff, San Diego. There's I don't know if Kevin's still doing it, but look it up. The Sea Samurai. He takes you out on Hobie kayaks and goes deep sea fishing. It is the coolest thing. One of the coolest things you'll do. So if you ever go back there, it's at La Jolla, right by the La Jolla, that hotel right there on the water. Yeah. Yeah, he does. Right. Okay. Truman mentioned that that Jimmy Kimmel forgets about his basically what he did on the Man Show. And Jimmy Kimmel he hasn't forgotten about it. He knows who he is. He knows he's a fraud. He absolutely knows he's a fraud. He knows he can bash on people for doing exactly and acting exactly the way that he promoted acting on the Man Show. I thought one of the funniest bits the Man Show did, they had this kid, some 13-year-old kid. And he would go out on the street, kind of man on the street, interviews, things like that. He was funny. The kid, I don't know who he was, where they found the guy. I'd look him up. I hope he's successful because the guy had a just spine of steel. He could go up to anybody. They put him up on I think they sent him out to like Mission Beach or something like that, or Manhattan Beach, and they had him set up a lemonade stand or an information stand. It was about ending women's suffrage, which we know women's suffrage, women's right to vote, but it sounds bad. So they wanted to see how dumb people are and said, end women's suffrage. And he was getting all these, he had some people try to, but I mean, that was Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, that was who he was. It was definitely who he was. Yeah. Jimmy I didn't even know Jimmy did stand up. Wow. Yeah. It was a great stand up. One of the funniest I've seen. Dennis Miller. He kind of fell off, didn't he? Wonder what happened to Dennis. Anybody got eyes on Dennis? Dennis Miller was one of the funniest. Him and Jay Moore, probably two of the funniest stand ups I've seen live. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yes, of course, Adam Kinzinger. Thank you guys. Yeah. By the way, Truman, it is kind of working for the grocery stores for free, huh? If you do the self-checkout. You're already paying enough. You're already paying 20% more than you paid 3 years ago. Inflation is taking your grocery bills up 20%. Yeah. Why do self-checkout? Why work for them? That's a good point there. Yeah. People get in there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Complaints about self-checkout. Yeah. Who pumps you in? Yeah. But in New Jersey, pumping the fuel, Kim, pumping the fuel, I think it's still New Jersey, and I think there's a couple other states that don't even allow you to pump your own gas. You just have to roll up there. It's the trippiest thing. I'm like, I don't want somebody pumping my own gas. I don't know why. There's nothing violating about it. Yeah. Speaking of violating, on Friday nooner, I want you to check it out because I'm going to tell the story about my first massage. Speaking of violating. Are you guys into massages? I'm not into massages. I got my first massage at 48 years old. My girlfriend took me out for my first massage. It was absolutely horrifying. Horrifying. I don't know why people do these. I don't know why people do these things. Yeah. Yeah. All right. My friends in California, Rhonda says, are already complaining about the high cost of fast food restaurants. Yeah. And by the way, yeah, honest to goodness sakes, it is it's straight up Taco Bell has come off the rails. Why did Taco Bell just get expensive? Why did Taco Bell try to raise their rates to everybody else? Taco Bell was where you went for cheap food. And in every way, cheap food. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Greg. I appreciate that. Yes, a reminder, and we'll do it on the nooner as well. And next Monday's program to remind you that next is Tuesday is primary day. So a week from, yes, it's a week from tomorrow, right? Yeah. Next Tuesday. Yep. Primary vote. It's time to vote. And yes, I'm upset. I don't care. I'll be voting for Lamb as well. I love the man. I think he's a fantastic guy. Yes. Stop and frisk on steroids. I'm telling you. Oof. But you can't do it with the flood of migrants coming through the southern border. There's just no way to do it. There just isn't. There's no way to stop everyone and process everyone. There's just not. That's when they say, "Oh, we're sending National Guard troops down to the southern border." They're sending them down for paperwork. That's what they're sending them down for, to process these people faster. It wasn't to stop them. It was to process them faster, to make sure they have their working papers and whatnot. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. And there are so many videos popping up of Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Chuck Schumer talking about illegal immigration, all these illegals. Yeah, but how bad it is too. Yeah. I like X as well. How libertarian are you on the drug legalization front? That is a loaded question, Greg. I can be pretty libertarian on the drug legalization front. I can stand pretty. I can understand both sides of this argument, but I am not personally. I'm not a big drug user, so I don't really have a lot of skin in the game. I've seen drugs ruin a lot of people's lives, personally and my family. So I have personal feelings on that. So if I could probably get rid of my personal feelings about it and my personal stories, I'd probably have a clearer picture. So that's probably a very politician answer there, Greg. But I can tell you where Rob is. If you know where Rob is, I'm telling you. Yeah. What new Amazon sellers must do shareable facial recognition. Yeah, dude, all this facial recognition, it just creeps me out. And by the way, they have them. Every company has all your personal information. I don't understand why it creeps me out so much. I don't. I mean, I know that it's my belief that the machines, Skynet was prophecy. It's going to happen, but I still have a Roomba because I just like hitting the button and just leaving and having my house vacuumed when I get back. I do. It's not going to rise up and kill me, but it's downline probably will. Holy mackerel. People on X got it. All right. Let's see, Dell, my man Dell. Let's see what we got here. Strong, powerful, intelligent women are attractive in so many ways. I'm a big supporter of watching them succeed. You're darn right. That should be what feminism is all about. It should be men and women, everybody rooting for women to have everything that men have had in all of society. Fantastic. That doesn't mean taking away. And by the way, that doesn't mean feeding into certain stereotypes of what a feminist should be. You can be a feminist and support a woman staying home and raising children while the man goes and works in the labor force. You can still be a feminist and support that. You should, as a matter of fact. It's a noble position, and probably a fiscally responsible one as well. So So good, Dell. You're right. It is. It is. Yeah. In Southeast California, I'm telling you, Truman. I'm going to have to get back to that one, buddy, because I can't really. Yeah. But Trump had an 80 million vote head start November 5th against Dem candidate. Yeah, I know. You look at the polls too. Look at the polls. He's ahead in every which way. He crushed, I think it was 300 and something electoral votes already in a head-to-head against Biden. And Kimmel is. Yeah. Seriously, Adam Carolla, I can guarantee you if Adam Carolla is speaking to him and not speaking sense into him, Oh, man, I watch the Man Show all the time. Washington, Lynn, don't even get me started. He was look, Washington State. I'm going to tell you this from a conservative standpoint and outdoorsman standpoint, a ardent supporter of the North American model of wildlife conservation. And I know what roles hunters and anglers play in the North American model of wildlife conservation. Those bozos up in Washington are getting a commission together of anti-hunters. That place, the conservation in Washington, is going to go out the window. It's going to be bedlam. Here in Arizona, our game and fish department manages healthy species and healthy populations of 820 plus species. We're the most biodiverse non-coastal state in the nation. And I think only 60 of those are game species. Right? So over 750 species of animal that we don't have deal with, but then hunters and anglers in the game species help that circle of life so there could be the total balance. In Washington, they're just like, yeah, we don't need them because hunting is bad and it's scary. How could you hurt an animal while they're sitting there eating a Whopper? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know Dennis became a conservative, but Dennis Miller should be around. Oh, okay. He was on with Gutfeld. That'd be fantastic. Okay. He was on there. I'm sorry I missed that. Man, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. One of the funniest stand-ups I've ever seen. I saw him in Irvine, California. I told you, I passed the test and I escaped California. But I saw him and he started the show, and it was just, his vocabulary is just so out of this. It's Howard Cosell-esque. That's why they had him on Monday Night Football. So he started his stand-up and nobody's laughing because I didn't understand what he was saying, and I wasn't the only one. No one was getting what he was saying. And so he just stopped, cleared his throat, and said, I believe crop circles are just a giant corporate advertisement for Target. And the room started laughing, not because it was funny. It was the first thing we understood him saying. We got it. We got the joke. And then he said, okay, good, Irvine. Okay, just want to see where you guys are. All right, good job. Okay. And I met him at a couple when I was at a smaller radio station here in Phoenix. A conservative station here in Phoenix, The Patriot. We had several Dennis Miller events, so I got to meet him several times, and just a good dude, good, genuine human being. Just he likes being who he is. He's not apologetic for it. Yeah, I watched him too, Ron. Yeah, Republican women, ducks in a row feminism. I love it. Hold on, Greg, I'm stealing it. If I could find my pen, there it is. Stealing that. That's right, ducks in a row feminism. I like that because, like I said, just you don't have to be militant about anything. Just have your stuff together, have your opinions in order, have your beliefs in order, and be ready to articulate them in a kind, maybe exploratory way, and everybody wins. Yeah, you can be a conservative feminist. You really can. Promise. You can be a duck. You could be like Greg said, a ducks in a row feminist. All right. Rob will be back for the nooner on Friday. I appreciate you hanging out with me. And I got some big news coming on the Go Show. So we're gonna have some big news on that coming this week. So make sure you subscribe to the Go Show with Mike Russell as well. And that announcement forthcoming most likely on Wednesday or Thursday. So thank you all. Have a great evening. Thanks for playing along with me. And we'll get Robbie back in here soon enough. Have a great evening, everyone. Thanks for